Hey everyone, welcome back. We got a couple new products for you today. And if you're like us, you've been trapped at home during these times and you haven't been staying in any hotels. And so this is an attempt to bring a little bit of the hotel experience into our home. We have two different products that do similar things for different size spaces within your house. So this smaller one here is from a company called Aroma Retail, Scentcerely, and these are aroma diffusers for a room or your whole house. And this smaller box here covers 2,000 square feet. So most of your house or a large portion of your house will be covered by this size device. And this one costs about $150. And these are the refill oils that are in front. And then the larger package here is from Hotel Collection. And this device will be in our master bedroom and covers about 400 square feet. So the smaller size coverage comes in at about $100. And both of these are, we selected the scent that would emulate the Westin and the white peach scent that they have in their hotels. If you've ever walked in to their lobbies or used their soaps and lotions, the white peach is the signature scent that they have for their brand. So let us open up these and see what they look like. So let's start with the smaller one. Should have taken out scissors and everything. It says this side up, I will leak if I am flat.
I will leak if I am flat. Why? Why will you leak if you're flat?
So it looks like it comes with a wall plate to screw into the wall to mount it. And then an AC adapter to plug this in. And for these types of units, you want to place them in an area that gets relatively high traffic. So as the scent is released from the machine, as people walk by, it'll get carried through the house or the room with the airflow that's created by the traffic of people walking. And you're supposed to keep them on a schedule of about 8 hours a day at 30 to 35% of the maximum strength. That's what's recommended for optimal usage. So it says the 6 steps are: find the best location, place it or mount it. So if you don't want to drill holes into your wall, you can just have this sitting upright on a table or a dresser, something like that. You plug it in, you set the timer or the controller, you put in the oil, and then you adjust, maintain, and enjoy. So that seems pretty straightforward.
Where do you put the oil then? Here?
Let's see, it has this quality tested label on it. Easy to pop the fragrance bottle in and out. Looks like on the back side. This is the oil door key.
You have keys. Where's the key? Wait, where's the opener? I wanna.
This is the oil door key. This little thing right there.
I wanna open the door.
So the best location is at least waist high near an electrical outlet in a spot that has plenty of air movement and is not directly diffusing over you, your family's or pets' resting, eating, or drinking areas. There is no danger to these areas. It's just a good idea not to disrupt these areas with a strong scent. Number 2, the machine can stand on its own. Hint, use the pad that the fragrance oil is wrapped in to stand the machine on to absorb vibration. So here's one of the packs. Look, Kensington got 2 scissors for us. Ooh, all right, so that's what the oil looks like. And so it says, place the unit on this pad so you can reuse and recycle. So to mount it, screw the metal mounting plate onto the wall and hang the machine on it, making sure both tabs catch. So it looks like these little hooks in the metal plate. Once you screw it in, it's got this little ledge on the top and bottom, and this would just sit in like that and rest on top, and it slides right in. There's a little groove for it to catch and sit all the way. Maybe you can't get it out once you put it, there we go. All right. And then number 3, plug it in. It's okay if the pump runs without the oil installed. It won't hurt anything. Unplugging the unit for long periods of time may erase your settings, but there is an internal battery to preserve settings for short periods of being unplugged. Tip: use the wire tie of the electrical cord to gather up the slack and hold the little white key that opens the fragrance oil door. If you have curious kids, hide that key. It comes with 2 in case you lose one, but it recommends tie it around the little twist tie that you use to tie the wire, and then it will always be nearby.
Well, where's the door?
So yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out. And then put in your settings, and it's like an electrical timer if you've ever used one of those. So we're trying to figure out where the door is.
Door. Door. I don't see it. What's that? Nope, definitely doesn't go there.
Oh, look, underneath.
Oh. Can I put it in? What is this supposed to be?
So here's the cartridge underneath. Comes with a little note in the key ring. Pull me straight out, do not unscrew, put me back the same way.
I don't know what that means.
All right.
How are we gonna do this without dripping?
So if you align this, it looks like the 2 circular grooves face the front of the machine. And so they would go in like that to align with what's going on the inside. There's little notches along, it doesn't say max anywhere, but I'm assuming you fill it up to the top line, although the instructions don't specify.
Do it carefully, do not drip.
It has a little groove underneath, so you can rest this without that little key ring, making it unstable.
Ooh.
filled it up to the line, and there's just a little bit left.
That's not a lot, actually.
Basically 1 bottle for 1 fill.
You're gonna have to buy a lot more.
We don't know how long this lasts.
Are you so sure? Okay, go in that way. And then, oops,
Push it in,
close it up.
and then close.
And then put in the key. There.
Okay. Now it's all sealed up. And
Let's plug it in.
you gotta plug it in.
Can I put it on the key?
So we got a plug right here. Plug it in on top. It already starts to turn on.
Do you smell anything? It's not below my way.
So step 4, put in your settings, set the clock to the current time.
It is
So you hit set, and then there's up and down buttons. So right now it's 9 in the morning. So we got 9:16. It was already set for Saturday, coincidentally.
9:17.
And then, so we've set the time. There are 5 events, so you can have the machine come on at different times, at different intensities, at different days. An event cannot go around midnight, so make sure the stop time is no later than 23:59, 11:59 at night. Okay, set the first event, press mode, and set the time the machine comes on for the first event. 8 in the morning?
Sure. Maybe.
And then off.
At 9.
Well, if you want to run it 8 hours a day, that would be like 4 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Or you can run it for part of the morning, on and off, like 8 to 10, and then 12 to 2, and 2 to 4, and, you know, different segments of your day. But that will require a little bit more complex setup. So we'll get this all set up, and we'll come back with impressions of how this ends up working over the course of a day. Thanks. All right, so we're back and we got this set up. And I forgot to mention, right when you plug it in, immediately it turned on, even though we didn't have the timer settings set. And since we had already put the oils inside, could already start to smell the scent. And I'll say it's pretty close. It's definitely white tea. I've been a frequent Westin stayer at their hotels, and so pretty familiar with their scent. And it's probably 95% close. I wouldn't say it's exact, but it's pretty good. It'll get the job done. So you go through the settings. We set it up for 2-hour increments throughout the day at 30% intensity. We'll see how that ends up performing. But it says that over time, we as humans have a tendency to get used to smells, and we get quote unquote nose blind. And so if you notice over time that the machine's working fine, you can hear that it's on, there's oil inside, but you can't smell anything, that means you become desensitized to the scent, and it's time to switch to something new. I guess that's their way to get you to buy more product. But other than that, this does require some cleaning, which seems very simple and straightforward over time. So what they recommend that if you hear that this starts to whistle, or you suspect that it's not running optimally, then you should clean the diffuser. And what you do is that little plastic bottle that holds the oil inside, empty the oil out. They recommend that you keep the plastic container that it gets shipped in and just pour it out directly into that. And then fill that little plastic container with alcohol. They recommend either rubbing alcohol, or if you don't have that, you can use 80 proof vodka, and they recommend filling it to the first measurement line within that little plastic bottle, and then running the machine for a while. They're not too specific with how long you need to do that, but running the alcohol through the machine will clear out any fragrance oil buildup within the diffuser cap. And then after you've run that, you can pour out any excess alcohol, put your oil back into the machine, and it should operate good as new. So that is the 2,000 square foot diffuser. I should note, the timer, if you use any electronic timer, it's pretty straightforward. You click through the mode button to go through the 5 different on-off periods that you can adjust for. It starts with an on time setting and use the up and down clock to change the time. And then you go through through mode setting 1, and then it will go through the intensity level, and so you hit up or down on the arrows to increase in 5% intervals, 25%, 30%, 35%, etc. They recommend starting between 25 to 35% and then adjusting based on your preference. And then the clock times are all in 24-hour. So I guess you don't have to confuse between AM and PM, but you have to remember 1300 is 1 p.m. You add 1 after 12 noon. And so 10 o'clock at night would be 2200 on the machine for 24-hour time. So those are just a little of the quirks that the machine has. So now we're going to move on to the bigger box, which covers a smaller room, interestingly. So let's open it up this way so nothing falls out. So this is from the hotel collection. This is called the Aroma 360. Kinda looks like an Amazon Echo. And I'll say the build quality on this one immediately is nicer than this one. This is the smaller one's the more expensive machine. It covers more square footage, but maybe you got the sense from reading through the instructions or looking at the notes on the canister that you pull out from the bottom. It feels a little mom and pop. I don't know how big the company is, but it feels less professional. This one, this almost feels like a weapon, frankly. This is metal. It's cold to the touch. It's a really nice build quality. The fit and finish seems pretty premier. Even the box that it came in, the print, you're obviously paying for some quality here in terms of the packaging, but this one was the lower price, even though it covers a smaller area. It comes with a remote that Kensington has pulled out. It's got on and off buttons, an Aroma button. You can increase and decrease the density. So their terminology is density, not intensity. Concentration levels of 20%, 35%, 50%, 65%, 80%, 95%. And then you can turn it on for 1 hour, 4 hour, or 8 hour increments. So I'll say while the build quality is nicer, there's less precision with this one, it seems. It's 15% increments for the intensity levels and 1, 4, or 8 hour blocks of time versus you could set it down to the minute on the smaller one. So, pretty straightforward instruction manual. For setup, open up your Aroma 360 diffuser, rotate the upper half of your device in a counterclockwise motion while firmly holding the bottom half. So unscrew. Remove the empty Aroma 360 bottle from the diffuser by turning it clockwise. The empty bottle is included in your equipment, is to be used for the cleaning process of your diffuser. Once you have selected the scenting oil of your choice, carefully screw the bottle counterclockwise into the diffuser. So it ships in, it looks like an identical bottle.
That's because it is.
This one does not have a little plastic pull on the seal. These are the most annoying types, where you end up with little bits of the seal still stuck. It's probably my OCD, but I try to rip it all off.
I can smell it.
Okay. So now let's screw it on.
I thought you had to use this and pour it in, but that one's easy.
It says important, make sure the bottle is screwed in tight and parallel to the top half. That looks pretty good. Once you have screwed it in, close the unit tightly by sliding the upper half back into place and turning clockwise.
You were doing it counterclockwise. Hey, what's happening? Why is it going down? Oh, there.
All right, so you get the logo in the front, and then there's a little spring that'll release. Connect the power adapter into the diffuser's power port, plug it into a 110 volt outlet, and position it so it does not become a tripping hazard. All right, so we got dueling scents here because I still have the lingering scent of this one, and we'll see how this one performs, the new one.
That one needs a key, this one doesn't.
All right, plugged it in. You got some lights. You can hear a little bit of a whirling sound.
I like this.
So the remote, let's pull out the battery tab. On and off, powers on and off the device. Density, plus, minus, you can increase or decrease the aroma density by 10%. So 10% increments. Pressing aroma will cause the unit to work continuously. Adjust the settings according to density desired. The blue buttons allow you to control the scent concentration by adjusting the scent interval. Options are 20%, 35, 50, 65, 80, 95. Okay, so Concentration adjusts the time that it's on. So for example, 20%, the diffuser will diffuse for 40 seconds and then pause for 160 seconds. So it'll just go on and off throughout the day. Versus the green button will just leave it on 100% of the time. So for example, 50%, the diffuser will scent for 100 seconds and then pause for 100 seconds. So 50% of the time it's on, 50% of the time it's off. And then if you just want it to run for the next hour or 4 hours or 8 hours, you would use the timer settings down at the bottom. I think we'll probably just go with 20 or 35% for our room, and then it will just continuously be on throughout the day. So while there's less precision with this one, I don't think your scenting needs are going to be so complex that you're going to need it down to the minute. And you're probably going to do things the same every day, weekdays, weekends. We're all at home every day pretty much these days anyways. This one's nice because you can adjust different days of the week for different settings, but most of us probably don't need that level of specificity today. The smell, pretty spot on with white tea and the Westin scent. Maybe I'd venture to say it's maybe a little more accurate than the one that came with this one. But they're both very close. You probably wouldn't notice the difference. So I think they both do what they claim to. We'll get these set up in our house, but I'm pretty happy with both of these. If fit and finish is really important to you, then I strongly recommend this one. But the smaller unit will cover a larger portion of your house. So all depends on your needs. All right, thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.